Hi there, I'm Heidi Young. I'm the founder and educator over at the Nest Kids CPR and Allergy classes. And today we're going to do a video about how to help a child that's choking. So I'm going to do a demonstration on baby Annie here. And then I'm going to go and get my own 2-year-old and just give you some idea of how to handle a real child. So the important thing to know about a child that, when they put something in their mouth that they shouldn't, or if they're just eating something, like grapes or sausages or any of these kind of things, the important thing to know is that if they start coughing, that's when we immediately start to panic, is when they start coughing. And actually this is the body's natural response. This is what's supposed to happen. This is what the gag reflex is for. So if they have a good, strong cough, then we need to encourage that. Okay, that's the kind of thing that we want them to be able to cough up what it is that's lodged in the throat, and we need to let them cough. So what we don't want to do is start banging them on the back when they've got a good deep cough, when they're taking a big deep breath in and then coughing effectively outwards. Okay, so we don't want to start banging them on the back when they're doing that. We need to just let them cough, and as long as they're breathing okay, as long as they're getting enough air in and out, then this is fine. Okay, obviously we want to seek medical help if it goes on for too long, but as long as they're breathing, they're oxygenated, then that's the main thing. Okay, so by banging them on the back, we're just going to hinder that cough reflex. All right, so if with young babies, they change colour quite quickly, so we're going to be able to see quite early on if actually they're not effectively getting the air in where it should be going. Okay, so if the child is not coughing effectively anymore, and you feel that they're struggling and they have like they've got like a very weak cough, or they're just struggling to breathe, to get the air in, what we need to do is give them 5 back blows. Okay, 5 effective back blows. Now this isn't just bangs on the back, so what we're going to do is we're going to position them with the head downwards, okay, and the bottom up, so as much as we can support them, okay, probably with your hands here across their chest, and the head we want to let gravity do its thing as well. Okay, so we want to use the heel of the hand, and we want to just be in the center of the back here, in the middle of the shoulder blades. We want to give some good back blows with the heel of the hand, and we're sort of going down and up. Okay, so down and sort of across that way like this. Okay, so we're going to go. All right, so we're just going to be hitting them on the back and getting it up the way, so that we're doing a forward motion at the same time. In between the back blows, we're going to be listening out if there's any vomiting, any coughing up, any chewing, making sure that if there's anything there in the mouth at all. And obviously if they bring it up with the first back blow, we don't need to continue and carry on. All right, so we can then check them to see if there's anything that you can see. Very important, if there's something that's very obvious and it's right there and that you can safely get it, you can pick it out with your fingers. We do not recommend sticking your fingers right in there, because most of the time all you're going to do is poke that object further down. Okay, so if you can clearly see it and you can safely dislodge it and safely get it out, then we can do that, but just be really cautious of sticking your fingers in case it goes down any further. If those back blows are not effective, we need to start thinking about the chest thrust. Okay, now the chest thrust is where we go between the nipples, like we would in CPR, and we'll get the heel of the hand and we'll get in between the nipples right here, and we'll be pushing out like this. I don't know if you can hear the breath coming out of this baby. Okay, so what we're trying to do is push the air out and up so that the object gets pushed up and out. Okay, so then we can have another look and see if there's anything in there at all. What we should be doing is, if the back blows don't work, we should be trying to call an ambulance, get someone around you to call an ambulance straight away, because we are probably going to need medical help here. And even if we don't, it's the best thing to do is call an ambulance if the back blows aren't working and the child's cough is not effective. Okay, so we'll have a look there, see if there's anything to see in the mouth. If there is, and it's very easy to get, we pick it out. If it's not, then we don't poke it down any further. We could do a lot more damage and make it impossible for the child to get it up. Okay, so what we then continue to do, if there's no change there, but the child is still getting some air in and out, remember, if at any time the child becomes unconscious, we start CPR. Okay, because if the child is unconscious, it means they're no longer breathing. They wouldn't be unconscious otherwise. Okay, if they're no longer breathing, then the oxygen in their body is no longer circulating and it's not getting to the brain and the organs where it needs to be. Okay, so if the child falls unconscious at any time, we call an ambulance, obviously, but we start CPR. Okay, the CPR is another video. All right, so if the child is still getting effective air in and out, but there's still something there lodged, we'll turn them back round and we'll get we've got them the different side this time. We've got the head down a little bit and we do the back blows. All right, so we're not being shy with these back blows. It's not a pat on the back. We're trying to get the object up, and then with all this checking and moving around as well, hopefully that would dislodge the object. Okay, but say the object is still there, they're still coughing, there's obviously something still there, very much irritating them, then we can again get them. It's much easier with a smaller child. I'll do another video with my older son, my 2-year-old. And then we go between the nipples, it's a very similar place to where we do CPR, and we'll go okay, you can hear that air coming out there. So we're trying to push the air out, and we just keep going, okay, until medical attention arrives or until they bring up the piece of whatever it is that they're choking on, or if they fall unconscious, we start CPR. Okay, so key points to remember. If at any time your child becomes unconscious, you start CPR, because it means that there is no oxygen inside, there's no oxygen being distributed throughout the body to keep the brain and organs as they need to be. Okay. If the object doesn't come up with the 5 back blows and the child is still choking, then we need to call an ambulance, because we'll need medical attention, okay, medical assistance. You do 5 back blows, and as long as they've got a productive cough where they're managing to get the air in and out, we do 5 back blows, 5 chest thrusts, 5 back blows, 5 chest thrusts, and we just keep going until one of 3 things. Either the child falls unconscious where we need CPR, or medical attention arrives and takes over, or they bring up the object, okay, and we just sit and calm them and settle them, okay. So other things to be aware of, grapes is a big one. So I work in the children's hospital, and we see children in the hospital that have choked on grapes, okay. We need to be cutting them into quarters, because even if you cut a grape in half, if you then turn it on its side, it's still a cylinder, it's still a perfectly circular shape to lodge into an airway, okay? Same goes for olives, cherry tomatoes, even big blueberries. I have been known to cut big blueberries. So we need to be cutting these things that are that size, that shape, into quarters. Other key things to remember is obviously being careful of any small toys in the house. I know this, I am a mum of 2 boys that are 2 very different ages. So I know this is really, really hard and sometimes impossible to foresee what they can be choking on, but just being vigilant of what's around, what your child's doing now. You know, if they're crawling around, then we just need to be a bit more careful with what's going on around. And don't be shy to call for help if your child's choking straight away. And just remember that if they're coughing, let your initial reaction be just to make sure that that cough is a good, productive cough where they're taking a deep breath in, and let them cough, okay? Don't start banging on their back. All right, so I hope this has been helpful today. And I will do another video with my son, just showing you some of the holds that we can do and what, you know, the reality of trying to get a 2-year-old to cooperate with you when you're trying to help them. Okay, so I'll be back for another video very, very soon. Keep an eye on my page, thenestcpr.com, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.